so good. Hope you guys are chill. Hope you guys are actually living your lives and enjoying the best of 2025 already. It's been a great start to the year 2025, and I'm so excited because, let's thank God for life, regardless of how we be. We're alive, and then, like they say, it's cliche, that who get life, get hope. But guys, I want to tell you something for free, right? A lot of people have been asking me, Paul, why don't you give your advice normally like you do every time at the end of your news? And see, I don't get time to advise anybody this year. Advise yourself. Whatever works for you, take calm. I'm not in that space to be advising you this year. So please do the best that you can do, and I will beg for you to live your life, enjoy every bit of it. Go for that opportunity. Everything that you can be, trust me, is within you. Now, yeah, it did. So try run on my G. Guys, I want to say a very big thank you to you guys for what you do for us here at Gusto TV Africa, for being a big part of our community, for your likes, your shares, your referrals, for telling your friends about what we do here at Gusto TV Africa. We deeply appreciate you. I want to say a very big thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We love and appreciate you. Please, 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 please continue to do that and continue to support us. And like I always say, let us know where you're watching this live news from. If you're in Lagos, Nigeria, if you're in Ibadan, Port Harcourt, if you're in other parts of the country, if you're in Los Angeles, if you are in Ethiopia, just about anywhere, just let us know in the comments where you are watching us from. I will be sure to give you a shout. Now, there's been a lot happening around in the world of I beg your pardon. There's been a lot happening in the world of Afrobeats, and it's been quite an interesting start to the year already. We're seeing a lot of basketballs. We're seeing a lot of people coming to say, you know what, this is my year. Typically, at the beginning of the year, you have projections. A lot of people coming to say this is going to be my year. And for Afrobeat superstars, people are actually churning out new music right now. People are in the studio cooking the best sounds for 2025. There are a new generation of artists who have, taken upon themselves to actually set the tone for the year, and actually, maybe not like develop a new sound, but bring something different and fresh to the industry. And we are all here for it. It is going to be an amazing 2025, I can tell you for free. For us here at Gusto TV, only, like, we are the best source for everything Afrobeat, and we'll just go and dive right in. Big congratulations to Machala Wizkid, whose Morayo album has now spent 7 weeks on the Billboard World Albums chart this week in the US. It's Wizkid's second longest charting album. Now, let me just give you like a backstory, right? So, at the beginning of the year, a lot of people had too much to say, about the year, how it panned out, if I have to put it out. 2024, how 2024 panned out. A lot of people were saying that it was an underwhelming year. The big four, the big three, we did not really get the best of them. I would want to differ. I beg to differ. I think we had an amazing year. We had the He Is album by Rema, which is Grammy nominated. Of course, Wizkid's Morayo entering into the fray in the latter part of the year, and it's quite a pretty decent album for it to be charting this much. And of course, there were loads and loads and loads of, smashing records, smashing the Afrobeat record, the longest song or the longest album to be charting in this country, in that country. The Morayo project has been able to shatter all the ceilings that are available in terms of, records for the Afrobeat movement, or in the Afrobeat space, if I have to put it that way. So I personally think it's a great album. I don't know what you think. Let me know in the chat box what you think, but I think Morayo is a decent project, right? So right now, Wizkid is celebrating, the FCs are celebrating this major feat, because right now this album is actually charting. It is one of the smoothest album I've heard in 2024, and of course still doing numbers in 2025. Wizkid's Morayo, I beg your pardon, has now spent 7 weeks on the Billboard World Album chart, and this week it is sitting pretty and doing so well. And big congrats to the FCs, and big congrats to Machala himself. Guys, you think that this album deserves, all the accolades it's getting, or is just a function of a push, a certain type of push, whatever, stream farming, or the FCs actually ganging up to do stream parties or whatever it is? I really think that it's a global album. I think that this album is one of the best albums to come out of 2024. side by side with his album. Of course, Rema did his thing, and of course had an amazing tour. One of the big takes from that whole Rema experience has to be the homecoming concert at the Samuel Ogbomida Stadium in Benin City. It was a whole new level of artistry, and I respect him for that. But we're not touching on Rema right now. We're talking about Wizkid Elenion, Machala himself, whose album is charting right now. Made in Lagos, you can see is on the number one spot. And of course, 7 weeks already. Morayo, 4 weeks. On the number four spot, I beg your pardon, and is doing quite well. So big congratulations to Machala himself. Anyways, we have somebody, Gaucho World is saying best album. Okay. Well, Morayo, well, Gaucho, that's your thought, but let us know what you think. Why do you think this album is not the best album to come out of 2024? Like I said, a lot of projects came out in 2024, and this is one of the best projects actually. But let us know what you think. Do you think that there were other albums who did better than the Morayo album? And of course, I know where you're trying to tip the conversation to, but I'm gonna keep that. But let me know if you have other thoughts as well. I will be right there to even discuss and debate it. Well, moving further down the perch, we have interesting conversations around Wizkid still. Like I said in the morning, if you followed my morning drive news, you will see that Fonz was actually picking on the number two spots on Apple Music's top 100, and of course, in less than a couple minutes, it's like the Wizkid camp just got information that over realize, hey, Davido don't they work twice as hard. Oh. And these guys, for some weird reason, of course, whether it's acceptability, whether it's engineered or anything, all of a sudden we saw Kese Dance back on the number two spot. Remember yesterday, Kese Dance was actually number two, but in the early hours of this morning, Fonz actually tipped back to the number two spot and displaced Kese Dance by Wizkid. But right now, Wizkid is actually occupying that spot, sitting pretty on the number two spot and gunning for the big man himself, Fido, who has enjoyed so much success on that number one spot. Guys, do you think that Wizkid's Kese Dance has the ability to knock Fido off the perch, or you think that he's still going to be dwindling around the number two, number three spot? But if you can see on your screen, one of the most interesting things you can see on your screen is the number four spot. Folas Who Does That featuring Bella Shmurda. And I can tell you for free that this guy is working hard. He's one of the new cats, one of the biggest revelations of 2024. And this guy is coming for everything that is Afrobeat. And big shout out to Bella Shmurda because, of course, Fola is signed to the Dangbana Republic Records. And it's a good thing that they're doing with this guy. Spotting a great talent like Fola is a big deal. And I really wish him all the best. So, one person that has also been in the conversation recently has been Burna Boy. But Burna Boy is on the number 5 spot. Burna Boy has lost his place in the charts for so many times. From number 2, from number 1 to number 2, number 2 to number 3. And the new cats are actually teaching him a lesson right now. He's sitting pretty on the number 5 spot, which is not a bad thing to do anyways. It seems that the record is actually doing numbers. Bundle by bundle is pretty decent record, if I have to put it that way. But Fola is saying, you know what, I'm coming for that top spot. I want to see what it feels like to sit on that number 1 seat. But right now, Wizkid is enjoying his time. He's having the time of his life and really having an amazing run. And I say again that Morayo album is one of the best albums to come out of 2024. Anyways, moving further, we have interesting news. So if you see your screen, you see an OG right there, right? And this guy is this guy has actually been in the industry for quite a long time, right? And you know one thing, I try as much as possible to always respect OGs and people who have done it before, people who have been in the game. And so MayD, takes to the famous Honest Bunch podcast, went on to say a couple things and put a lot of people on blast. MayD actually put the Big Four on blast and said, you know what, these guys in their prime were not even doing as much music as I was doing. I was the biggest guy out there at the time. He had a spell with the Square Records, and of course, there were just a lot of things happening around these guys. And at the time, MayD was actually one of the biggest stars, to be honest. You have to give him that credit. At the time, I'm talking at the time, not be now. But in terms of paving the way for other Afro stars? Are we going to say that MayD is a pioneer of the Afrobeat movement? That's a conversation that we need to have. So let me know in the comment section if you want to actually rate artists who have actually championed the cause of the Afrobeat movement. Are you going to ever mention MayD's name? But MayD is making a bold claim to say, you know what, I've been there, done that. I've set the pace, I've set the tone for what it is that you guys are enjoying right now. So you guys need to actually pay me my respect. And I mean, fair to the guy because he's actually worked his way, to the top and deserves everything that, he should actually normally get, quote and unquote. But I'll say this, if you check your screen, there's one guy called Somto who says Davido running from home to squat with MayD shows how he really struggled to be where he is today. Later, they will say his father's money brought him this far. Meanwhile, bro was in the street. Now, I mean, MayD actually took that podcast to say a lot of things about Davido. I'm not going to give you all the scoop, but this guy is saying Davido actually struggled and MayD was actually there for him to actually give him a hand. So why is MayD still struggling and trying to find his feet in the industry? Is it time to wrap it up? Is it the longevity of his music is not as much as David's own or Wizkid's own or Burna Boy's time frame or time span? Anyways, I mean, everybody get their own time, and I think MayD's time will probably might just be up. Well, that's another big guy who likes to talk a lot on X. Coming to say that MayD was never in history bigger than Wizkid or Davido, and he was never the top three conversations even in a short prime. No shades. And that one is from Daniel Rega, one of the most controversial people that you will ever find, on the streets of X or Twitter, as we will call it. Anyways, guys, what do you think about all this? Do you think that MayD, shouldn't be having conversations about saying about, Davido in his prime, Wizkid in his prime, I was bigger than them and all of that stuff? But MayD did his thing when he did his thing, and he was really great at it. But right now, it's looking like he's the forgotten piece of the puzzle. Well, he's trying to find his way back into the industry. Should we give him the attention or pay him the respect and just say, you know what, OG, just move on because these new guys have taken the industry by storm, and there is absolutely no space for you. Now, if you look in your screen again or look at your screen, I beg your pardon. Bless my belly, don't too full today. Anyways, if you look at your screen, you will see that Davido is actually having the best time of his life. And this guy is on the road again for the up-teen time. This guy has worked really, really hard in 2024. And he's saying, you know what? I have a new album coming. The 5 album is going to be one of the game changers in the history of Afrobeat. And I'm not going to sit my ass down to say, oh, I want to give you like a mid album like the other guy. I'm going to give you something that you will always remember. Of course, he has heard the Morayo album. When I say the other guy, you know what I'm talking about. He has definitely heard the Morayo album, and he's saying, you know what, I'm gonna give you guys something that will be worth your while and it's gonna last in the history books. And y'all gonna see that I did this thing, and you're gonna talk about this project for a long time. I mean, Davido is on the road again. Where it's going, we don't know, but we know for certain that he's working really hard, and the album 5 is definitely gonna drop pretty shortly. Now, if you look to your screen, there's one person that has always been the controversial figure in the history of Afrobeat, and that person is Portable Omolalomi. Portable Omolalomi has said, you know what? I am warning you guys, please never in your lives should you put me in the same conversation as Asake is the money with the vibe. I am bigger than this guy. Please, I beg, I beg, I beg, I beg, I beg. Don't ever try for your life again. Don't ever call me. They call my name if you are talking about Asake. Please, 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 please don't mention me. I've been there, done that. Look at the success I'm having as an artist. I am in the league of people like the Waynes and Wiz Khalifa. Do not ever compare or pit me side to side with Asake, Mr. Money with the vibe. I actually find this to be very, very funny because right now, in terms of success, I want to really say that in a global scale, Asake obviously beats this guy hands down. But Portable will always talk his talk, and they really fear anybody like that. So we need to give him that. But guys, you think that Portable's claim is legit, or you think that he's just cloud chasing, or Asake with the whole new face tattoo is trying to copy Portable or try to like imbibe some of his style and his aesthetics and things of that nature? I personally think that Asake is just living his life, and I don't even see him responding to anything like this. But guys, let me know in the comment section if you think that Portable has some bit of stand here by saying that he's bigger than Asake, Mr. Money with the vibe. And Olamide said on X, don't compare me to Asake. I don't look like him. I look like Lil Wayne. I'm now an international superstar. Sorry, I beg your pardon. That's Olamide quoting the words of Portable in that viral video that surfaced online earlier in the day. He said, "Do not compare me to Asake. I don't look like him. I look like Lil Wayne. I'm now an international superstar." Yes, we know you're an international superstar. You've done a song with Skepta. Still receiving royalties of that song. It's still blowing your mind and blowing your head. But guy, my G, relax a bit. Don't get ahead of yourself, because right now these boys have been able to penetrate into the international scene, and they are well recognized, more recognized than you. I can say that for a statement of fact. But it is what it is. Portable has worked his way and continue to be relevant. Because I remember when Portable came into the scene, I never really thought that he would still be in the scene till now. But this guy's tenacity is something that we need to study. Guys, this is where we wrap up the news this moment. I want to say a very big shout to you guys for joining in. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Let us know in the comment section what you think about everything that we said on the news this evening. Do you think that Portable shade to Asake is legit? Do you think that Wizkid's Morayo album is one of the best albums to come out of 2024 and beat any album that you could ever think of? Of course, remember, his album is there to also compare to that album. But let us know in the comment section, because your opinion matters, and we will definitely respond to every one of your comments. Guys, this is where we wrap it up, and I'll say stay safe. Guys, tomorrow I'll catch you guys on the morning and evening drive. Please stay safe. It's your boy Paul. We're signing out now. Please be blessed and have an amazing day. Catch you guys later.